Hello everyone, and welcome back to this companion series to A.K. Warder's Grammar Guide, An Introduction to Pali. Lesson 24 begins by mopping up some loose ends, the pronoun amu, Bahubbīhi compounds again, and future inflections, before focusing on auxiliary verbs in Pali. This is Pali Studies on the Learn Pali channel. So we start with the pronoun amu. Amu is a less frequent demonstrative pronoun. I don't think there's a full paradigm for it. Unlike all demonstratives, it can stand as a third-person pronoun, he, she or it, but is deictic like idang, meaning that it refers to something which is present. It usually is used in comparisons for something that is more remote than something else. That over there, as opposed to this over here. So if we take an example, this means something like having heard there, not a declarer of this elsewhere. And note here that akata is the nominative singular of the agent noun akata, to declare. Okay, next Warder gives us yet another variation on Bahubbīhi compounds. The word karma, when acting as the second member of a Bahubbīhi, means desiring or wanting, literally, whose desire is. The first member can be a noun or an infinitive. And when it's an infinitive, the nigahita is dropped to leave to. Action nouns, those ending ana, can also be used as an alternative to the infinitive. Dasana karma is quite common, literally, whose desire is the seeing of. And these are often better rendered into English by a straight infinitive. A man is coming who wants to see the Blessed One. And refer to Lesson 19 if you want more on infinitives or action nouns. Warder now introduces a variation on the future inflection. Most future tense verbs in Pali take the infix isa. Some, however, miss out the connecting I sound and add sa directly to a strengthened root. We've actually already covered this when we looked at the formation of future verbs in Lesson 10, so I'll refer you back to that. Okay, let's move on to auxiliary verbs in Pali. This is quite a complex area, and I've also discussed this in depth in other tutorials, so this will be a recap. But it's important to understand that there are three verbal aspects. The simple, which covers straight facts, I write. The imperfective, also called the continuous or progressive, which indicates something ongoing, I am writing. And the perfective, which indicates something that is complete or finished, I have written. Tense, then, is a combination of time period and these aspects. Now, the tense of a statement can be indicated either through inflection, that is, the altering of the verb itself, and in English it's only the simple past and present that use verb inflection, or via periphrasis, which is a combination of another verb, an auxiliary, with a participle. In English, the continuous aspect is expressed by a form of the verb to be and a present participle, while the perfective is a variant of the verb to have and a past participle. Similarly, Pali uses inflection of the main verb to indicate tense. That should be no surprise. And this is how the indicative inflections of Pali map onto English. But it also uses periphrasis, with different forms of the verb to be used as auxiliaries in combination with participles. And this is mainly used in Pali to express the perfective aspect. So, verbs from the root us with a past participle emphasize the meaning of present perfective, have done. I have proceeded correctly. If you remember, participles when used as finite verbs are in the nominative case and take their gender and number from the subject, while the auxiliary verb, like all verbs, agrees in person and number with the subject. And this means that when the subject is a first or second person pronoun, either it can be dropped, or the auxiliary can be dropped without any loss of meaning. And with the verb us, when the subject is in the third person, the auxiliary is nearly always dropped. If you remember from lesson 5, the third person form of us takes the special existential meaning there is. Now note, Warder tends to render many of his examples as stative verbs, but literally these are perfective. And he also points out that the optative or potential form of us, asa, can be used to express something hypothetical, but optative forms from the root who are more often used in this way. Note also that very rarely the imperfective or continuous aspect is expressed by an auxiliary and a present participle, but there's actually only a couple of examples of this. Verbs from the root who and bu with a past participle also emphasize the perfective aspect, but they can indicate any time period, in which case it's the inflection of the auxiliary which indicates the time, aorist for the past, etc. And as Warden notes, when who is used in the present as an auxiliary, most often this is expressing the historical present. Now, as well as past participles, and very occasionally present participles, auxiliaries can accompany future passive participles. And as verbs, these can have a wide range of meanings from being capable of to ought to be or must be done. So when in periphrasis we get the road must be or has to be travelled. And in a few cases they appear with future auxiliary verbs, in which case they express will have to be, the road will have to be travelled. So, watch out for participle and auxiliary combinations, and for a more detailed discussion on aspect and tense in Pali, and the use of auxiliaries with the active and passive voice, as well as the historical present, see the tutorials appearing above now. The other auxiliary verbs that Warder lists I don't find very convincing, and, as he states, they need not be regarded as a form of periphrasis. So I think we can ignore them. Well, that was lesson 24, and I encourage you to watch those other tutorials on verbal aspect. There are solutions to the translation exercises linked in the description below, and in next week's lesson we look at secondary derivative nouns as well as compounds from indeclinables.